All right, good morning, class. And here we are in English 12. So thank you guys for getting here. It looks like everybody is in their seat and ready to roll on time. So I appreciate that. If you look at our screen today, you will see that we are continuing in with our vocabulary list or our vocabulary lesson. We're still in list one. And if you'll remember, so far we've just been kind of familiarizing ourselves with the list. And today we're going to do something a little bit more fun with it. So I just want you to keep your desks cleared for a moment. I am going to read to you a short story. And in this short story are all of the vocabulary words we have gone through so far, either in the form that we've learned them or in their derivative form. Who can remind us what derivative means? Yes, Mary. Yes, it is exactly the base word added a prefix or a suffix added onto it, or in a different present, past, or that kind of thing. Yes, exactly. So thank you for that. Okay, what I'd like for you to do first is listen. You're going to hear the story, and as you are listening, if you recognize one of your words, I want you to raise your hand. That's it. If you don't recognize a word and everybody else is raising their hands and you're not, it's not a big deal. I'm just trying to get an idea of how familiar you already are with your vocabulary list. So here we go. This is the story of Jack and Jill that you have not yet heard. It is the paradigm of sibling rivalry that screams of churlishness and proves the gravity of competition born from parental favoritism, a tale as old as time. Anyone familiar with the old fairy tale of Jack and Jill knows that Jack and Jill were given a job to fetch a pail of water. It is also well known that both Jack and Jill were injured in this task and ended up at the bottom of the hill. However, anyone familiar with Jack and Jill's family dynamics would also prognosticate, good job, that these events were bound to happen and may regret not interceding on Jack's behalf sooner, given the assailing he endured previous to this regrettable event. Jack was the younger of the two children, only by a few minutes, but Jill never let him forget this fact. From the moment Jill could express herself, it was apparent that she was quite intemperate when it came to her actions toward her brother. She would push him down, take his toys, lock him in his room, and otherwise torture him with words and actions at every turn. Her father called her Sweet Jill. The observer may see this as quite the paradox. Sweet Jill was anything but not to her father. He catered to her every whim and ensured she was well taken care of. Jack, on the other hand, was treated more like a servant. He was given food and water in exchange for feeding the livestock and weeding the garden. He was included in family events only after the house was clean and all the chores were done. And slowly, he was becoming despondent. So when Jack was asked to fetch a pail of water at the top of the hill, and Jill volunteered to go with him, Jack was quite astonished. Jill said she realized the unfairness of her father's treatment toward Jack and wanted to make amends. Jack was surprised, but pleasantly, and he welcomed Jill's help with the task. They skipped and sang down the path from their home and all the way to the bottom of the hill. Jack and Jill continued up the hill to the town's well, and Jill quickly offered to fill the pail for Jack while he rested under a tree. Jill took her time filling the water pail and quietly watched Jack as he fell into a deep sleep under the shade of the nearby tree. Suddenly, he was awoken by a blow to his head. Jill had smacked him hard with the water pail. He was groggy and confused and realized Jill was only trying to get rid of him once and for all. Jack, stunned, looked at Jill and noticed she was not at all repentant of what she had done. And that is when Jack knew he must scotch this sibling rivalry once and for all. He quickly jumped up and rushed at Jill, tackling her and sending them both down the hill. He scored a major blow to Jill's side, and she lost her breath and tumbled down the hill faster. And she lost her, the fighting lasted for what seemed like hours, and soon both children were out of breath and strength. When neither could raise a hand toward the other, they both sat back and looked at each other. That is when they realized that all this time they had been pitted against each other and made to think that one was better than the other. They had missed out on friendship and family and so many other blessings, all because of the work of their father. And that is when they decided that their relationship was worth far more than anything they could gain from staying home and continuing in this rivalry. So they picked up their pail, climbed the hill to fetch water, and walked through the town, determined to share in the joy and the work of being family. The end. All right, thank you guys for everybody who participated, the ones I saw the hands going up. That was great. I noticed a few hands go up with words that weren't quite on our vocabulary list, but were maybe ones that were familiar to you. So I appreciate that as well. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to hand out a copy of this very story to each of you. Okay, so while I am handing out these, or actually, Mary, if you would hand out these short stories, while she is handing out the short stories, thank you, ma'am. If you would please get out paper and pen, something to write on, something to write with. Okay, we are going to do a little bit of an exercise here. Okay, oh, and you also need your vocabulary list. So you want on your desk your list of what we're going through so far. List number 1, you want something to write on and something to write with. Okay, and then the short story. It looks like everybody has everything. Okay, so you are going to take 10 minutes. You're going to read through the story again, maybe even mark the words that are on your list. You're going to rewrite this same short story. So using the same short story, you're going to rewrite it, but using synonyms, antonyms, and derivatives of the words that you see. So you're not going to keep the words as they are in the short story now. You are going to change them to either use a synonym or antonym, which means you're going to have to change maybe the a little bit of the wording of the sentence, but I want you to keep the context there, okay? Or the derivative, okay? You can use the derivative as well. So everybody has what you need? Yes? Okay, so I want you to spend 10 minutes just rewriting this short story for me. All right, thank you, and go. All right, so your 10 minutes are up. It looks like everybody has finished, or for the most part, and that's okay if you're not done yet. Just keep working silently. But I'd like to hear some ideas, some different things that you guys came up with. You don't have to share the whole story. Maybe just pick one sentence and tell me how you changed it. And then if you can explain, did you use the synonym, antonym? Maybe we'll recognize if it's the derivative. Sure, Charlie, go ahead and start us out. Great. Yeah, that was great. You used the synonym for gravity. I like that. Very good. Did anybody else have something they'd want to share? Yeah, go ahead, Sydney. Okay, yes, assailant instead of assail or assailing. I like that. I like that. Very good. Very good. Anybody else? Okay, but it looks like everybody has an idea of, or the concept of what we were doing. Does anybody have any questions about that? How to keep the words in context of with the story, but being able to use synonyms, antonyms, derivatives. Great, good job. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next assignment. You guys have your short story right there in hand, the one that you just kind of fixed. You have my short story. Those can actually go away right now. So the original short story that I read and your revision can go off to the side. You need one more piece of paper. And I'd like for you to get paired up with the person closest to you. So you guys know how to do this. Yep, everybody, you're going to pair up and you are going to write your own short story. So obviously as a pairing, as a partnership, you're going to come up with an idea for a short story and the two of you will be writing your own short story. You can use something similar to what we have, what I shared with you, where it was the story of Jack and Jill, and I just revised it a little bit to include the words. That's totally fine. You can be completely creative as far as coming up with a brand new story. But you're going to work together, and what I want to see is all of your vocabulary words are used in the story in the correct context. Okay, so remember, context is that it holds its meaning in the sentence or in the statement or in the story. Okay, so you're going to work together as a team. I'm going to give you 20 minutes to work on this. I think you guys can get it. Actually, I have no doubt. If you finish early, as I'm sure some of you will, add some visuals to your story. You can draw something on a separate piece of paper, or even coming off of your paper, you can add some visuals. That would be great. And then if you need some help with, because English is your second language, you can write yours using the words from your primary language that represent the words from our vocabulary list. Or you can write your entire story. If you two want to pair up, you can write the whole story in Spanish for both of you. Or like I said, just give me the synonyms, the similar words in Spanish that work for our vocabulary list. And are there any other questions? Okay, let's get started. Everybody's in a pair. Everybody has pen, paper, your vocabulary list. All right, get rolling. Okay, your 20 minutes are up. All right, did anybody have any questions? Did everybody finish, first of all? Looks like it. That is great. Make sure both of your names are on that paper because I will be collecting them at the end of class. Did anybody have any questions about the actual lesson? We've been going over these words for some time, so you guys should be pretty familiar. Okay, good job. Good. Okay, then what we're going to do is, first I'd like for you to pass all of your papers forward to the front, and then Sebastian, can you grab everybody's papers for me? Put them on my desk for me, please. And again, make sure both of your names are on there because you're both getting credit for this, okay? Graded based on your words and the context, okay? Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so our final activity as we are finishing up this lesson today in our class today, we are going to go through a slideshow here. Each slide represents one of the words on the list. And what I'd like for you to do is look at the picture and then be able to tell me, by raising your hands, tell me which word you think it represents and why. Okay, so let's get started. See if this is going to work. Okay, the very first one. A lot of people have it. Okay, Mark, can you tell me what it is? A sail. Okay, why do you say that it's a sail? Okay, very good. Yeah, two men fighting, and it is a sail. Very good job. Okay, next. This one might be a little more difficult. No, you've got it. Okay. John, what have you got? Churlishness. Okay, why do you think it is churlishness? Yes, you're right. So churlishness kind of had two definitions for us, but the second one was difficult to work with. Yep, that's what this looks like. Also marked by a lack of civility and graciousness. This guy kind of looks like he's lacking that. Very good. Very good. Churlishness. All right, here's our next one. Might be a little bit more difficult because it could be a couple different things going on here. Yeah, Mary. Despondent. Very good. Why do you think it's despondent? Depression. Right. Yes. Depression. Discouragement. Let's see. Despondent. Yeah, very good. Okay. What's this one? All right, Shane. Yes, I heard you. Yeah, what do you think it is? Gravity. Okay, now, why do you say gravity? Okay, yeah, great. We had several definitions for gravity. The one that I used in my story was characterized by sobriety or seriousness. That certainly is not represented here, but you were using a physical force of attraction caused by mass. Very good. It is gravity. And you're hoping gravity is going to work there. Okay, so what do we have here? This is kind of an odd picture. So, Ooh, it's a little bit hard. Nobody's choosing it. Nobody's guessing. Come on. So we've got a guy who is eating a lot. It looks like they're all kind of eating and drinking and doing a lot of feasting on things. What might it be? Look at your list. Make sure maybe you can rule some out, and that will help you rule one in. Okay, you want to take a stab at it, Sydney. Okay. Intemperate. Okay, yeah. Lacking moderation or sobriety. Yeah, for sure, for sure. These guys are definitely lacking that. Intemperate. Okay, then next one. Oh, this one's easy. Just call it out. Yes, intercession. That's right. Prayer or entreaty in favor of another. Very good. Okay, this one's a little bit different because it has words on it, but it's not the word that we're looking for. But maybe it is part of our definition, if that gives you a little clue. Yeah, John, okay. Yes, it is. It is paradigm. Why do you say it's paradigm? Right, it's a clear or typical example. Exactly, paradigm. Okay. Okay, this one is kind of funny. We've got a wall that looks like it's a really nice wall. Then somebody vandalized it with an apology. So they're saying sorry about vandalizing it as they vandalize it. What could that be? Yeah. Good job. Good job. A paradox. It's a statement that seems contradictory or opposed to common sense, and yet it is perhaps true. Yeah, maybe he is sorry about his wall, about the wall. So yeah, that one I thought was kind of funny. Okay. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Mark. Again, prognosticate. Yes, prognosticate. Yep, to foretell from signs or symptoms. So the crystal ball kind of will give you signs or your fortune. Okay. Oh, this one is an easy one. Yeah, go ahead for me, Paul. Score. Yeah. Now, we had, what, 4 definitions, 5 definitions of the word score. A group of 20 things, success in acquisition and indicating mark, and the act of making a mark. So we have success, right? Okay, so score. And this was a bonus question. Oh, no, it didn't do it. Never mind. All right, well, that one's good. So we are all done with that. Oh, here's all of it. So thanks. I'll just put this back up here. All right, so now we have finished our lesson for today. You guys heard a short story that included all of the words. Then you rewrote the short story, keeping the context, but giving the new words. You created your own short story with all of your words, which I cannot wait to read. And then we were able to get some visuals included so that we were able to further build up our knowledge and understanding of these words. So great job today, guys. Thank you so much for your participation. Can't wait to read all of your short stories. And that's the bell. You are dismissed. Thank you, guys. Okay.